Many people say that Paris is the city of love, but to me, this is the real city of love. Hi guys, I am Luis.
And I'm Monika.
Welcome to Verona.
Day number 3 of the trip, and today we are, as Luis says, the city of love.
Yes.
And many people would like to believe that Paris is, but to Luis, and now to me, this is the city of love.
This is the city of love.
And you know why? Because the story of Romeo and Juliet was born in this city.
Yes. This is the famous Arena di Verona, which used to be the Colosseum. Now, they still do concerts in here up to date.
Welcome to Arena di Verona, an architectural marvel that stands as one of the best preserved ancient structures of its kind. Built in the 1st century, this Roman amphitheater could once seat 30,000 spectators. Today, it serves as the world's largest open-air opera venue. So it's not just a relic of history. It's a living, breathing stage that continues to captivate audiences in a way that would make Romans proud.
Anyway, you walk, you see the big wall right there across the city.
It's such a long wall. I mean, like, I can see the end of the road, and still the wall is like right over there. I wonder how long it is.
Or how long it took for them to build it.
That one too.
Yeah. As we walk around the streets of Verona, you can clearly understand why it's often called the city of love. Each corner seems to tell a story. Each building has its own secret. It's a city where romance isn't just an emotion. It's practically a landscape. The blend of medieval architecture with the lively street scenes creates a canvas so vivid that it's almost as if the city itself is whispering love poems in your ears. So the main reason why people come here to Verona is to come and visit this place right here. This is Juliet's house, or in Italian, Casa di Gelato. I've been here many times, and you can see on the wall they have all these love messages that couples they leave for each other.
Juliet's house, where love notes plaster the walls and emotions run high. It's estimated that around 300,000 people visit this sanctuary of love every year. From the iconic balcony to the bronze statue of Juliet, it's a place that has turned the tragic tale of Romeo and Juliet into an everlasting symbol of eternal love. And speaking of that bronze statue, you'll often see people touch Juliet's right breast. A funny tradition, sure, but one that many believe it brings luck in love.
So that is the balcony, Juliet's balcony. If you want to go inside, you have to buy the ticket online.
I'm going up there and you stay down, okay? And
No.
I'll call you. Oh, Romeo!
No, because remember, the ending was tragic. I don't want to end it up like that. Now, you see many people here, they come and they touch, they hold the breast of Juliet. That's because they're supposed to bring good luck and love. Now, here's a fun fact. Last time I was here, I have a picture holding her breast, and guess what? I found her. Now, I believe it's a must if you come here with your loved one to do this ritual.
And look what I just did. I put an M and an L. I have a very ugly handwriting, but I'm gonna lock this. And I have no space where to lock it.
Okay, well, so let's do this. You have to do it with a tradition. So, okay, Monika and I, we were born in April, okay? So, I was born in April 1st. Yeah, April Fools. Monika was born in April 21st. So, let's make the dates. Number 1, 21. So, let's go to line 1, and then we count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Right here. And look, it's empty. Right here. You see, actually, our local is the only one right there. Ah.
And look at the key. You're locked forever. And Casa di Julieta is checked off our bucket list.
Monika doesn't know, but I brought a pen. And we have nice pens right here. Whoop. Luis and Monika. Ta-da! So now ours is there too. Behold the Piazza dei Signori, graced by the statue of Dante Alighieri. But Dante wasn't just any poet. He's often recognized as the Shakespeare of Italy, a man whose words shaped the very essence of the Italian language. During his time in exile from Florence, Verona welcomed him with open arms. Here, he found inspiration and comfort, contributing immensely to the city's rich culture and art. This is the house of Dante Alighieri. I always love how this place looks like. Look, I love this style. It's very old, but they maintain the essence. So if you want to go in, you must buy the ticket online, same way as the Juliet's house. And here is the monument to the greatest poet in Italy. Writer of the Divine Comedy, here is Dante Alighieri. Visiting a local market is like finding the heart of a city. And in Verona, that heart beats vibrantly every Saturday. From one-of-a-kind souvenirs to artisanal foods, it's a feast for the eyes, the stomach, and the soul. Whether hunting for local crafts or simply soaking in the atmosphere, you're engaging in a tradition that has been the lifeblood of Veronese culture for centuries.
We haven't had a gelato ever since we came to Italy, so I think it's time for a gelato right now. Bad idea to eat an ice cream with red lipstick on. My lipstick is all over my face. But it's the first gelato in Italy, so I'm really enjoying this. I took the milk gelato. Bebe, what was your gelato with?
Nocciola, which is almonds, and stracciatella.
You can tell it's so good.
Chip. Yeah,
like,
I finished mine already.
Yeah.
I don't eat fast. I eat very slow.
It was so good. We didn't even have time to vlog this. We were really craving for an ice cream.
As we farewell Verona, we take more than just memories. We're carrying the spirit of romance and history. But as one adventure ends, another one begins. We're heading now to Lake Garda, a place of immense natural beauty. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share with your friends. This is it for today, and ciao for now.